Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. This is me Fatima Business Wali and today I'm going to discuss this topic learning from failure, turning setbacks into opportunity with ChatGPT. So, failure is often seen as a negative experience, but it can also be a powerful teacher. Through this discussion, I want to learn how setbacks can help us grow, build resilience, and move closer to success. So, without wasting any time, let's start our discussion with ChatGPT. Hello, ChatGPT, can you hear me? Okay, today I want to discuss this an amazing topic: learning from failure, turning setback into opportunity. Okay, so can you tell me what is failure? Okay, so why do people fear it? Okay, so can failure actually help us succeed in the future? Okay. Um, what are some valuable lessons that failure teach us? Can you explain again some easy word? Okay. So
Yeah,
my next question, how can I change my mindset about failure?
that's a really important step. One way is to reframe failure as a learning opportunity. So instead of seeing it as a final result, view it as a stepping stone. You can also focus on your effort and your progress, not just the outcome. And, surrounding yourself with supportive people who see the value in trying can make a huge difference.
Okay. So why do successful people view failure differently?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. I think successful people tend to see failure as just part of the process. They realize it doesn't define them and it doesn't mean they're done. Instead, they use it to get feedback, refine their approach, and keep going. So for them, failure is just a temporary detour, not a dead end.
Okay. So what
Yeah,
should I do immediately after expressing a setback?
that's a really good question. Right after a setback, it helps to give yourself a moment to process, acknowledge how you feel, but then focus on a small practical step forward. Ask yourself what one lesson you can take away or what tiny adjustment you can make. That keeps you moving, even if it's just a tiny step.
Like you said, I ask myself what one lesson I can take away and what tiny adjustment you can make. Uh,
Exactly.
can you explain some easy words?
Of course. So when I say a lesson, I just mean something you've realized or learned from the situation. Like maybe you found out a different approach you should try next time. And a tiny adjustment is just a small, simple change, like tweaking a habit or a strategy. So you keep moving forward without feeling overwhelmed.
Okay, my next question. What is the difference between giving up and learning from failure?
That's a really key distinction. Giving up is when you stop trying entirely, like you decide it's too hard and you walk away. But learning from failure is different, is when you pause, reflect, adjust your approach, and keep going, just with more wisdom. So one is a full stop, and the other is a detour on your path.
Okay, so how can failure
Yeah,
help build confidence and resilience?
absolutely. When you get through a tough failure, you realize, hey, I survived that. And each time you keep going despite the setback, your confidence grows. Plus, you prove to yourself that you can handle challenges, which makes you more resilient next time something hard happens.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, what is the difference between giving up and learning from failure?
Yeah. So the difference really is in mindset and action. Giving up is when you decide it's over and you stop trying altogether. Learning from failure is when you pause, reflect, and adjust. So you keep going, but with new knowledge and a stronger plan.
Okay, so my next question is how can failure help me discover my strengths?
That's a great question. Often, when things don't go as planned, you have to push yourself in new ways. So, failure can reveal hidden strengths like persistence, adaptability, or creativity, things you might not have realized you had until you faced a challenge.
Okay, why is persistence important when facing challenges?
Yeah, it really is. Persistence keeps you moving forward even when things get tough. It helps you overcome obstacles, stay committed to your goals, and honestly, it's often what separates those who succeed from those who stop trying.
Okay, so my question is how can I stay motivated when I see disappointed result?
Yeah, that can be really tough. I think one thing that helps is reconnecting with your why you started in the first place. Also, break big goals down into tiny, achievable steps and give yourself small wins to celebrate. So even when things are hard, you keep a sense of progress.
Okay, so what role does self-reflection play after making mistakes?
Self reflection is really crucial because it helps you understand what happened, why it didn't work, and what you can do differently next time. By really looking inward, you avoid repeating the same mistakes and you build a clearer sense of how to improve and grow.
Okay, how can I avoid repeating the same mistakes?
Yeah, so one way is to write down what went wrong, like really analyze the details, then create a specific action plan for next time, what steps you'll take differently, and check in with yourself regularly. Just reflect and course correct early if something feels off.
Okay, why is it important to take risk even when failure is possible?
That's a great point. Taking risks is often where growth happens. Without them, we stay stuck in our comfort zones. Even if failure is possible, each risk teaches you something new and it builds your courage. So even a small risk can lead to big progress down the line.
Okay, how can setbacks make me a better leader?
Yeah, so setbacks actually push you to adapt and grow. They help you build empathy because you understand what it's like to struggle. And they give you a chance to refine your leadership style because now you know what works, what doesn't, and how to handle tough moments with more wisdom.
Okay, How can teacher use failure as a learning opportunity?
Oh, absolutely. Teachers can model how they reflect on their own setbacks, sharing a time they failed and what they learned. They can also create a classroom culture where mistakes are okay, like they celebrate trying, not just getting it perfect. That way, students feel safe to experiment and learn from every step.
Okay. How do successful entrepreneurs deal with failures?
Yeah, so successful entrepreneurs tend to see failure as a data point, not a dead end. They look at what went wrong, they pivot, and they keep going. They don't take failure as a personal defeat. They see it as a step toward refining their vision and building something stronger.
Mm, Okay. What habits help people recover from setbacks quickly?
Yeah, so a big factor is having a growth mindset, believing that you can improve with effort and practice. Strong support networks help a lot, family, mentors, or peers. And also setting small, achievable goals after a setback helps you build momentum and confidence again quickly.
Okay. What habits help people recover from? Okay. How can failure improve creativity and problem solving skills?
Yeah, that's a great one. So, failure pushes you outside of what's familiar. When your first attempt doesn't work, you have to get creative. You experiment, you think of new angles, and you come up with solutions you might not have considered if everything went perfectly. So, failure really expands your creative thinking.
Why is patience important during difficult times?
Oh, absolutely. Patience is key because setbacks and challenges don't resolve overnight. When you give yourself time, you stay steady, you keep perspective, and you avoid rushing decisions. So, patience helps you stay grounded while you work through the difficulty.
Okay, so how can I support others who are struggling with failures?
Yeah, a big part is just listening without judgment. Let them know they're not alone. You can share your own experiences with failure to normalize it and then offer practical support like brainstorming next steps or just reminding them that setbacks don't define their worth.
Okay, that's great. So, how can failure help me become more determined?
Yeah, so when you face failure and you keep going, it really tests your resolve. You realize you have more strength than you thought. And each time you overcome a hurdle, you build that inner fire, that determination to see your goals through, no matter what.
Okay, what is one famous example of someone who turned failure into success?
Oh, a classic example is Thomas Edison. I mean, he failed countless times before he perfected the light bulb. And he famously said, I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways it won't work. So he really turned those setbacks into a massive success.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
what practical steps can I take to turn my next setback into an opportunity for growth?
That's a great question. So, first, take a pause and reflect. Ask yourself what the main lesson was. Then, set a small, manageable goal, something you can do differently next time. And finally, keep a journal or track your progress so you see how each step builds momentum and keeps you moving forward.
Okay, so thank you so much, ChatGPT, for inspiring discussion. I learned that the upper failure is not opposite of success. It is a part of the journey towards success. Every setback provides an opportunity to learn, improve, and become stronger by embracing challenges, learning from mistakes, and staying patient. I can continue growing and achieving my goal with confidence.
That's such a powerful takeaway. I'm really glad this helped, and I know you're going to do amazing things. Just keep going one step at a time and be kind to yourself along the way.
Okay, ChatGPT, goodbye.